This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so let's start the session. I hope you are able to install the Minikube. Okay, so today what do we do? So we'll be learning how to create pod. Fine, and before that, I've already explained what is pod, but let me explain it again. So pod actually holds the container, okay, inside Kubernetes cluster. Fine. So I said pod can have multiple containers, but practically we will be creating only one container. So one pod, one container. Okay. So, but theoretically we can have n number of containers inside a pod. Okay. It's a list. Okay. So you can have multiple containers inside a pod. Okay. So the reason why practically we should have only one container within a pod is so we work on microservices, right? So it's like one service can talk to another service also. Okay, so if the same service, if that other service also exists in the same part, then it becomes a problem, right? So then it becomes like local to that. Okay, so instead, so if it is deployed somewhere else, let's take an example of web and database. Okay, so one service is running one uh, service is there in web related. What do you mean by web? It is out accessible outside. The other one is database related. Both are running in the same part. Okay, so now it's not like only in one part, it will be there in multiple parts. Okay, so but having, I mean, using the same ID would become a problem, right? If one goes down, other also will be going down. Okay, ID meaning the URL, unique URL will become a problem. That is the reason. So there is a concept called services. You will understand later. So if each one has the different URL, okay, so meaning that the base address is different, okay, so then we can connect easily. So it's kind of an external service and all we can think of and we can do it. Our internal also with a different URL you can do it. So that's the reason. So to just avoid the clumsiness, so we actually don't use, I mean, don't try to create containers in one multiple containers in one part. So always remember, so one part, one container. Okay, so that's how it is. Now whenever you create a part, definitely for that particular part one IP address will be created. So internally we need to use a networking mechanism. Okay, so using that we need to it creates a parts for you. Okay, so when you use AWS, AKS internally allocates the IP addresses for you. So there shouldn't be any conflicts between the parts. Okay, so because each part should be getting a different IP address. Okay, so you cannot use the same IP address for two parts, right? Or two n number of parts. Okay, so it should be a different IP address. So networking related stuff should take care of that particular one. Okay, so that's how it is. Now we need to understand how to create a pod. Okay, so inside a pod it can be any container. The input for this particular pod would be your Docker image. Using your Docker image you can create a pod. Okay, so you can definitely create multiple pods by using replication controllers or replica set. We'll go through that as well. So but as of now we will try to understand how to create one pod. Okay, so later on we will try to understand multiple parts related stuff. Okay, anyway, ultimately we need multiple parts. Only one part will not be sufficient. Okay, so the reason for that is it, I mean, high availability. Okay, if one part goes down, other part should be up. So from now onwards, think that whenever you say part, I mean it contains a container. Okay, so pod equals to container, right? Okay, but pod is a holder for your container. It is holding your container. Okay, so that's how it is. Fine. So now before I go to the pod definition and other stuff, okay, so first of all, we need to understand YML. There are a few newcomers, like they will not be knowing YML script. Okay, and weekend batch, you already know because you learned Ansible, but for them I'll quickly explain that. Then I'll come back to pod definition related stuff. Okay, so anyway, to create a pod we need to create a YML file. For that we need to understand YML structure. So I have already shared this yesterday to you guys. Okay, so I'll quickly explain how YML will have it. Okay, so it is like XML and all, right? XML, JSON and all, like we create the files, right? The same way we also create YAML files. Okay, either YAML or YML. Okay, so then how to create that? Remember, YML works on indentation. Okay, so what do you mean by indentation? The spaces. Okay, so in XML we'll have a start tag and end tag. Okay, but whereas in when it comes to the JSON we have like brackets and all. Okay, but in YAML nothing will be there. There won't be start tag and end tag. There won't be any braces. Nothing will be there. Okay, directly will be just keeping in a sections. Okay, but how that sections we will be having it is by using these three types. Okay, so one is key value pair, and second one is array list, and third one is dictionary. In a key value pair there will be a key and value. Okay, so it's like name Prasad. Okay, so place Bengaluru. Okay, city Bengaluru. Okay, so like state Karnataka. Okay, fine, country India. So that's a key value pair, right? Okay, there is a key and there is a value. Okay, but only one value. Remember, in a key value there will be only one value. Okay, there is a key, there will be a value. Okay, fine, so that we call it as key value pair. Fine, so then we have dictionary. Okay, so if you observe here in the dictionary, it's like banana, calories, fat, carbs. So calories, fat, carbs are part of banana. Okay, so why are we saying it is part of banana? So the reason is there is a space. Okay, so both are not in the same line. Okay, when it comes to key value pair, these are all there in the same line. You can observe there: fruit, vegetables, liquid, meat. These are all key value pairs, but both are all different ones. Okay, I mean, these are all different ones. Fruit is a different key value pair, vegetable is a different key value pair, like that, right? Okay, but when it comes to dictionary, so there is a indentation, meaning it is separated with the space. So under banana we have calories. Okay, so fat, and see, inside a dictionary we are actually adding key value pairs. Okay, so banana, calories, fat, carbs, these are all key value pairs, right? Okay, so now let's say computer. Okay, so computer name can be anything, name, and you can say computer one. Fine, so IP address, some IP address. Okay, so height, weight, color, whatever, right? So those are all part of a computer, right? But you are actually having multiple key value pairs for one particular computer, right? So that we call it as dictionary. Okay, if you have multiple key value pairs for one particular item, that we call it as dictionary. Okay, so key value pairs and dictionaries. Okay, then we have list. Okay, so what is list? List will contain multiple values. Okay, so it's like this, right? So when you come to the fruits, we said only apple. That is just a one value. In the key value pair, you will have only one value. But whereas in the list or array, so we'll have multiple values. Okay, so you can see here fruits: orange, apple, banana. Okay, so in the vegetable, carrot. Okay, cauliflower, tomato. So so in a list, we actually have like hyphen, hyphen, hyphen for each one of it. We'll say hyphen. It is not indentation related stuff. Whenever we say list, it's like you divide it with hyphen, hyphen, hyphen. So then you can have combination of these things. You can have combination of array list, dictionary, and key value pairs as well. Okay, so how to have that? If you verify here, this is a combination of everything. Fruits is a list, but inside a list you also have dictionaries. Okay, so you can say banana, fine, so that is a dictionary. So inside that you have key value pairs. Calories is key value pair, right? Fat is key value pair, like carbs is key value pair. So you have a key value pair and you have a dictionaries. Okay, then you have a list. Okay, so it is not like each list should contain uh, definitely dictionaries. It can also have only one particular value, so that is also possible. Okay, so and only key value pair also you can have it. Okay, key value pair is having one value, list is having multiple values. That value can be a just an item, or it can be a key value pair list. Okay, key value pair dictionary. Okay, so it is like that. So this is using this particular mechanism, we actually write the YML script. Okay, so in the YML script, so the first line, see the extension of that file, how to create a YML file. So it just like create .yaml extension or YML. Okay, inside that, the always the first line starts with hyphen hyphen hyphen. In the end, the last statement, okay, would be like dot dot dot. Okay, the first one would be hyphen 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 first statement, and the end statement would be hyphen, sorry, dot dot dot. Okay, so and within this particular hyphen 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 and dot dot dot, you will be adding this either key value pairs, dictionaries, or a list. Okay, or a combination of these things. Okay, so that's how we actually create a YML file. Anyway, we'll be creating a YML file for pod, so then you will understand. So like I was talking about, this is a pod definition file. You can see the YML structure here, API version, kind, metadata, all this. We are using YML structure over here. Okay, so now what do I do? So I'll try to explain pod definition file. Okay, so let me open one pod definition file, and I'll explain you the structure. As of now, my screen is fast. Okay, so I'll share it as soon as I open the related folder. Okay, so fine. So this is one of the pod definition file. So what what exactly it contains? It has four sections now: API version, kind, metadata, and specifications. Okay, so these are all the four sections. Okay, so we'll be adding few more like replica sets and all little later. Okay, but as of now, you try to understand there will be four sections. I mean, even in other YML files like for replica sets, services, and deployment. So in for each one, we will be using the same structure. Like you'll have four sections: API, kind, metadata, and specifications. Okay, so but this will be changed. Instead of pod, you will be specifying their replica set or something. Okay, so that's how it is. But anyway, we need to understand why do we need why do we need to have other items as well. Okay, so why do we need replica set and all? Okay, that we'll be learning later. But as of now, so let's try to understand part definition. So API version, always remember there will be a version for the API. Okay, so it depends on the kind. We need to choose the API version. Okay, so let me open this. For a part, we use API version as v1. Whenever you are creating a service, then it will be v1 again. Replica set, then apps slash v1, deployment app slash v1. Okay, so these are all the versions of Kubernetes. Like So I said we will be talking to the API server, right? So it is like we use something called a kubectl. Okay, internally kubectl talks to the API version. Okay, so I mean the API server. Okay, that is what is API is all about. Now the version of that particular API we are talking about. Fine. So V1 is the version of that particular API. Okay, so now we have a API version which is that I just explained. For pod we actually use V1. So and for replica set also it is like this, right? For replica set it is app/V1. Okay, so now currently we are creating pod. That's the reason it is V1. Fine. So then what is kind? Kind is what exactly you are trying to create. Is it a pod? Is it a service? Or is it a deployment? Okay, so which one it is? Currently we are trying to create a pod, so that is the reason we are using kind as a pod. Okay, kind as a pod. Okay, so that the API server understands that you wish to create a pod. Okay, so related API will be executed. Fine. Now metadata, the metadata meaning, always remember metadata meaning the description about your item. So in this case our item is a pod, right? So the description about that particular pod. Okay, so you have a name, you have labels. In the name I am saying node app pod, so that is the name. So see, there is no rule saying that this should be as it is. You can change, instead of name something, the label can be anything, this can be anything. Okay, but this is common practice, but this names or labels, even keys also can be anything, doesn't matter, but there should be some key, so that later on in replica sets and all we need that particular key. So to uniquely identify your part we need that. Okay, so that is the reason we actually follow this. Okay, so in the metadata we are saying the name of the pod is this one, and the labels, under the label you are saying your application is node app. Okay, so that's the metadata about your pod. Fine. So then the specifications, this is where you need to specify your Docker image, so that using this particular image it creates a container inside a pod. Okay, so like I said, you can have multiple containers, but as of now, I mean, like practically I said, you can have, I mean, you will be having only one container. So that's the reason I have only one container here. So the name is vguide and image is httpd. Okay, httpd is Apache. Okay, so that I am taking it from my Docker official image. So later on I'll also take my own image, okay, from the Docker Hub. Okay, so which is the Node.js image which I have already pushed into the Docker Hub. So I'll be taking that, but as of now, for our understanding, initially I'm just using the Apache image, but later on we'll be using the Node.js also. Okay, for that we need to take care of the security stuff also, because we need to log into the Docker and all, right? For that we need to create some kind of registry and do it. So that I'll explain it little later. Okay, so as of now, so to create a part, this is what we need it. Okay, so any questions on this, anyone? Okay, fine. Now what do I do? I'll start my EC2 instance. Okay, so I'll be starting the Minikube. So then we will try to execute the part and try to understand. Okay, so how exactly so we can execute it. Okay, so to execute a part, it is like we need to use a kubectl create command. Okay, so this is how we do it. So I'll just quickly show the commands as well. So I was talking about API versions are like this. So yeah, this is how it is. Fine. To create a part, we could use like kubectl create and -f and the name of the file. So the part would be created. Okay. So and now to get the parts, we actually say kubectl get parts, or when you say get all the parts would be displayed. Okay. So you can actually say get all or parts also, so that only parts will be displayed. Fine. So and to get the detailed information about the part, we can actually say kubectl describe and part and the name of the part. Okay, So anyway, we'll use this, and instead of create, we can also use apply. Okay, create is first time, and the second time whenever you're trying to use the same YML file, then you will be applying it. It is not like create. Okay, so either you can use create or apply first time, but later on it would be apply only. Okay, so this is how we can create a part. Okay, so and you can also delete a part by specifying kubectl delete part. Okay, so and the part names, fine. So if you say all, then everything would be deleted. Okay, so that's how we can actually create a part. Fine, so let us try to create a part first. So let us try to create a part definition file. So then we will try to run that particular definition file, so that part would be created. Then I'll show you. Let me log in first. I'm just trying to start my VM first, then okay, guys, observe carefully. Later on, you should be creating a part by yourself. Okay, so how to do that? So try to take the notes. Okay, how exactly I am doing it, so that you don't miss the steps later on. I'll be sharing the commands also, but still. So this is my VM. So each time when you stop the EC2 instance, kubectl will be stopped. So now you need to start the kubectl. Okay, not kubectl, minikube. Fine. So minikube status. Anyway, that will not be stopped. Everything is stopped. The kubelet API server, everything is stopped. Host is also stopped. Fine. So now what do we do? We'll start it. Minikube start. Okay, so you can verify the status again. So it is running fine. So now what we can do, so I'll say kubectl. So then get all. You can see there is a service. Okay, so cluster IP. So by default, this only this much will be there. So whenever you say kubectl get all, here only your parts, the services, deployment, everything would be displayed. Okay. So but as of now, we just have a cluster IP, that's a service. By default, that will be there. Okay, so nothing else will be there. So, but now we need to try to we will be creating a pod now. Okay, so one pod will be creating. So I'm just creating a folder. So mkdir Kubernetes, I'll say. So cd Kubernetes. So now here what do I do? I'm just trying to create a pod.yml file. Fine. So here it starts with hyphen hyphen hyphen. So then I'll just place this particular content there. Okay, so you have a API version which is v1 and the kind is pod and metadata node app. Okay, so and app is node app, the name is node app pod, which is pod name. Okay, and application name is node app. Fine. So the containers, you are actually using image which is httpd. Using that it creates a container for you. Okay, so now let us try to execute it. Okay, so how do you execute it? Like I said, you need to use kubectl create, either create or apply, and hyphen f command, hyphen f option, then pod.yml. Okay, so this is how we actually create a pod. Okay, so I'm saying one pod, I'm not saying multiple pods. Okay, so this is to create one pod only. Fine. So kubectl create hyphen f pod.yml. Fine. So now I am trying to execute this. Now let's see what happened. Pod created. Okay, so pod created, which is node app pod. The name of the pod is node app pod. Fine. So now you could verify kubectl get all so that the parts will be displayed. Now you can see the part here. This is your part. Okay, so which is running. Fine. So then you can also say kubectl get parts. So you will get only the part. 1 second. Okay, so this is how we can actually get the parts. Okay, so kubectl uh, get all will give you everything. Okay, so then there is something called describe command. Okay, so kubectl get parts describe. uh 1 second. Sorry, hyphen o wide. Okay, this one. Okay, get parts hyphen o wide command. Fine. So you can see here, this is the node IP and this is the node actually speaking. Node meaning this is a virtual vision, right? So but in a cluster, so it can be in any one of the node. Let's say there are 3 nodes in one particular cluster. So the pod can be created in any one of the node. Okay, but this is the IP address for your pod itself. Okay, so for your pod there will be IP address 172.17.03 is the IP address for your pod. Okay, so internally it got created. So this is the node app pod name of that. So it is running. Okay, so 1 of 1 and which is running. Okay, so age 2 minutes 12 seconds, and this is the IP address of your pod. Fine. So now I can run this particular one. Okay, so how do I run it? HTTP. So I can say localhost Okay, so but it's not localhost, right? So the IP I need to give it 172.17.0.3. Okay, so then by default it runs on 80. Now you can verify here. See, it works. Correct, right? So if you have multiple parts using that particular IP address, you can run it. It is working now. Okay, so in case if you wish to execute from outside, for that you need services and everything. So we'll talk about that particular services later. Okay, but as of now, this is how we can actually create a part, and you can get the part and you can run the part. Okay, so I'll anyway share the commands to you. Okay, but in case if you wish to delete it, again you could delete it by using this particular delete command. Okay, so delete parts and the name of the part. Okay, so now I'm just trying to delete it. So kubectl delete parts, and the name of the part is this one. Okay, so this is deleted now, but practically you don't delete anything. Okay, so you are not supposed to delete. Get parts, I can say like this. So no resource found in the default namespace. You can also verify all. Now you'll see only the cluster IP related one, but no parts available. Okay, so this is how we can create a pod. Okay.
So Prasad, I have a small doubt. So while we were working on Dockers, Docker containers were having a different IP, right? It's not the same. Uh, okay, it is different ports, right? Not the IP when we create containers, and we publicize it for usage. So it is the port which is different than the host port, right? The VM.
Yeah, that is port only, but here also the port concept comes. Okay, so because inside a pod, inside a container, you are running it actually. So then how to expose that outside? So it's not -p option. There is a concept called services. That's why I said I'll be explaining that later. Okay, so
Mhm.
we'll definitely do that. Okay, so
Oh,
how to, yeah, expose that outside and access it. So I'll explain it. Okay, that is very important concept. You'll understand that later.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so let me share this to you. Okay, so I want you to execute at least part. Okay, so replication controller replication set, you can do it later, but at least this particular file, so I want you to execute it now, and just have a feel of it. So the later on we'll go to the replication controller and replica set. Okay, so let me share it with you. Looks like I have not shared the PPT yesterday.
Yeah, for 2 p.m. batch you didn't.
Uh, yeah, so I just sent it and I am also sharing the commands now. Describe, you just forget about it. So I am just sharing this one. Okay, here I have not sent this one. So the pod definition file is this. Okay, so
Uh, Prasad, again, I have a very small silly doubt. Here, if you see Spake, right? Spake, inside Spake, we consider that as a list, right?
yeah, list of containers.
List of containers. And how about the name? Here we have a hyphen before that. So is it
It's,
considered as a key value or?
yes, it's a key value, but this is a name, and this is just like what to say, part of a name only. This is just the image.
Okay, it is part of a name. Then it is considered as a dictionary.
Yeah, but it is not dictionary, but it is part of that. It's just a key value where name and we get. So inside a container, we have these two values,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
right? Container is a list.
So
So this is name.
container will be
Yeah,
considered as a dictionary here.
yeah. Container is a list actually. Containers is a list. Or you say, I mean, this is, containers is a list. That's the reason you have hyphen. So I can have one
Mm-hmm.
more here. So it's in the list only. In the list, it's like it's not like dictionary. So we have two key value pairs.
Okay.
Getting it?
Okay.
The list itself we have. So I can again separate it like I can have one more hyphen name and then one more image
Mm-hmm.
like this.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so try to execute it and create a part. Okay, so later on we'll move to the replication control.
Prasad, I'm getting some error. I have already created the pod definition file. And when I execute this, I'm getting this error. Shall I share my screen?
Yeah, you can share your screen.
Is it the
Okay.
parsing error that you're getting? Paresh?
Yeah, this is a passing. Yes, yes, it is a passing.
Parsing pod. I think it's something with the
Some syntax issue. Can you just share?
Okay. Yeah. Are you able to see my screen now?
Not it. Yeah, I can.
Okay. So, so this is what?
Just go to the. Yeah. You see hyphen hyphen hyphen. I don't see that.
I actually given that previously. Just removed it.
Okay. So metadata, API version, everything should come in the same line. So there is a problem. Can you just open VI editor?
Okay. Which one?
Can you just give space on API version? API version. Yeah,
Okay.
just
Okay.
yeah.
Is it fine? Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the problem. Thanks, Prasad.
No problem. Let me know once it is done, then we'll move to Paresh said done.
Prasad, just a question out of curiosity. How does this IPs get assigned to pods? is it through subnetting or I don't think it is subnetting, but how it is getting assigned?
No, it depends on the infrastructure which you are using it actually. So in AWS, there is something called, I just forgot the name. So using that mechanism, internally it creates it.
Okay. So it is not like it is definitely not subnetting, right?
Not
Because
subnetting.
I don't see any CID or value there. Okay.
It's not subnet, but internally anyway, it's subnet only. Inside a subnet only, everything would be happening. So that would be private only, but still it should maintain the uniqueness. So to maintain that uniqueness, AWS uses one networking concept, and uniqueness meaning I mean only one IP address should not be attached to multiple parts, right? So to maintain that,
Yeah.
it uses a mechanism. In case if you are using outside, like if you are not using any cloud platform, then you will have to manage by your own.
Okay. Okay. The reason being is your IP address for pod is similar to mine. So I thought why
That
it
is
is
internal,
like how. Yeah. Yeah.
that is
Yeah.
not an issue.
Yeah. Thank you, Prasad.
Prasad, Amrit here. When I'm
Yeah.
trying to connect to the Node app IP, it's giving a connection refused error.
Okay. Can you just share your screen?
Yeah, sure. Sir, can you enable sharing?
Yeah.
So, can you see my screen now?
It's not HTTPS, it is HTTP.
Even I did with HTTP, it's still the same.
Okay. So 172.17.03 780. No connection with you.
Prasad, is it due to the port binding?
Okay,
If
so
it is
it is
already used.
no, it's not created. Your part is not created yet. There's some problem. It says image pull back off.
Okay.
It's not ready. Your part is not yet ready. Just can you say just kubectl get parts? It's not created. Did you find any problem while creating?
No, that was the parsing issue. That that was
Okay.
the only thing.
Can you just delete and create again?
Uh,
Delete kubectl, delete parts,
no.
part, node app, space, hyphen app,
App.
sorry, part correct.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Now can you run it again? Yes. Yeah.
It's
Now can you
created.
start again? Yeah.
See the IP address.
Hyphen o wide. Get part space hyphen
Ah,
o wide.
It's
It is not. I think there is some.
think need to look your OMS.
Yeah. Just check the YMS.
oh yeah, I made a error over here.
Just delete it and create again.
Okay, sir. No, I put an I over there, so by mistake, I think that is why
And you
it's not.
the part again and create it.
Yeah. Yeah, now it's running. Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, fine. And so anyone else facing problem?
Yeah,
Okay.
Prasad, I'm stuck on the very beginning. So
Where exactly you are facing problem? Beginning meaning not able to create a pop-up.
yeah, I'm not able to create a even when it's starting. Actually, when it's starting Minikube, it's showing me some error. I just given you the error screen. Just trying to Minikube status.
Then expand. Yeah, you need to start Minikube, right? You have not done that. First, you should start Minikube. Start STAR.
On that right, but
No, you should. Okay, I think you have not used that particular option. So Minikube start -drive. That one you have not used it. Can you just open the URL which I shared it?
sure.
Yeah, come down.
Okay. Got it. Oh, okay. So just Minikube started not gonna work.
Initially, only first time.
I think, Prasad, with that, I believe the contract install is to be done, right? Before we start it. Even though it is installed, yeah, that is also mandatory.
No, I have done. I have done it. Or just before checking the Minikube version, I installed it. So,
Yeah.
but here what I did, I just initiated Minikube start. That's it.
Fine.
Okay.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
You do that later. Okay, that will work. Fine.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, so that is about pod. Okay, so but definitely one pod is not sufficient. If only one pod we need it, actually we don't need Kubernetes at all, right? Definitely we should be having multiple pods. Okay, then only you will get high availability. If one pod goes down, other pods would be up. Okay, so that is anyway required, right? Okay, so multiple parts must be there. So that is the reason we could use something called a replication controller. Okay, replication controller. So using replication controller, so the idea is like you can specify how many parts you need it, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, whatever. Okay, so it's all based on your user base. Okay, so you can specify these many number of parts I need it, so that it always maintains that many number of parts. If one part goes down, automatically other would be up. Okay, if one part goes down, automatically other would be up. Okay, so that is the reason we use replication controller. Okay, but replication controller is kind of obsolete. We are not using it nowadays. Okay, so what do we use is replica set, we use it. Okay, so I'll just show you the both the definition files, but I'll not be running the replication controller. I'll be running only replica set, but I'll show you the difference between those two anyway. Okay, so this is replication controller. Okay, so in the replication controller, so what exactly you are trying to do here? So you have a API version for replication controller. Anyway, you need to use app/v1. Okay, so I have already shown you. So then this is kind. Anyway, replication controller is a kind. Fine. So the metadata is like you are saying node app replication controller. This is the metadata of replication controller. Label is node app, and the type is front end type. Okay, so that and all is the same. It just like you change the name. Okay, so but in the specifications we need a pod, right? So earlier we just given the container and other stuff. Okay, so now we need to understand this replication controller in a different manner. See, I'll just show you. This is replication controller YML structure. See, the API version, kind, metadata, everything will be the same, right? So it's the same. So there is no change in this. But in the specifications, it's in the, we have something called template. So here in the template, we just need to have entire pod definition stuff here. You are just including under the specification, the pod under template, you just need to add the pod definition. Okay, so in the pod definition, so if you observe, see, this is the pod metadata and the specifications, right? You just need to place this directly in the pod definition. If you observe here, so I'll just go to the one of the pod definitions. So this is the pod definition. This one you just need to copy and place it inside your template. This is replication controller. So inside your specification template, you just need to copy this, not these two sections, okay, but these two, metadata and the specifications, you directly place it in your specification template. Okay, so that is what I have done it over here, metadata and the specifications. Okay, so you can see now, so I have a replication controller and the metadata is replication controller related stuff. Then under specification, I added a pod. But there is one point to be noted here, very important one in replication controller, which is replicas. Replicas meaning how many parts you need it. How many parts you need it. I need 3 parts. Okay, that is the reason I mentioned it as 3. Okay, so 3 parts automatically gets created by the Kubernetes. Okay, for you. Fine. So that is a replication controller. Okay, so you are just placing your pod definition file under your template of specifications. Okay, so that's how we create replication controller. Okay, so any questions on this, anyone?
So Prasad, this file holds good for Minikube only, right? For the time being to
No, don't think that it is Minikube. You'll be creating a different YML file, and for actual cluster, you'll be creating a different. No, it is not like that. The YML file is the same. It is just like, see, Minikube or Kubernetes EKS, just an environment change. But this YML file will be the same as it is. You will be using it there also.
Sir, all the
okay.
replicas, sorry, all the replicas that will be created will have the same name, Node App RC.
No. It will be a different name.
Okay.
Anyway, you'll get to know. Okay, there will be unique name. See, it will definitely start with the same name, but there will be postfix will be attached. Some unique ID will be attached to that.
Okay, sir.
Fine. So that is about a replication controller. Okay. So then, what is replica set? I actually said that we don't use replication controller. Instead, we use only replica set. So the reason for that is why do we need to use replica set is both are same. Replication controller, replica set, both are same, and the definition file, everything will be the same. Okay, so but only one extra we need to add it. Okay, so that is this one. So this is replica set. You need to add something called selector extra in case of replica set. Now, why we should be adding that? What is the necessity? Okay, so now the reason is, let's say you are actually let me explain in form of PPT so that you'll understand. Okay, so I have one node. I'm not taking multiple nodes. Let me take one node only. So this is one replication controller. So I'm just creating one replication controller. Inside that I have pods. Okay, so there are 3 pods. Fine. So, and I'm creating one more replication controller for a different application, not for the same application, for a different application. Okay, so now that I'll color it with a different shape. Now this is other one. Okay, so now what am I doing? So there are 3 nodes. Let's say this is front end and this is back end. Okay, so there are 3 front end nodes, there are 3 front end parts and 3 back end parts. Now you know that if one part goes down, automatically other should be up. Okay, so that's the reason we are in Kubernetes. Okay, so it always controller will be verifying whether any part goes, got down or not. Okay, so if that is the case, it creates one more part for you, right? Automatically one more part would be created for you. Okay, now let's say if this part is going down, then it should create one more part, right? So which part it should create is the question. Which part it should create? Okay, so that is the reason we need to specify the pod name over there. I mean the application name over there, so that is what is selector is all about. Okay, so that you are saying always it should maintain 3 parts for this particular application. For this particular application. Okay, so since this part goes down, so if Kubernetes is creating one more backend part, that shouldn't happen, right? It should create the same part. This part only it should create it instead of this particular part. So that is the reason we need a selector. So you are actually specifying this replicas are related to this particular pod. Okay, this particular application. Okay, so that's the reason. So we need this one. Which is this node app? This is your node app, right? My application is this. So I want to match labels. So you are matching that particular label. Okay, so this is the selector, right? So you are saying my application name is this. So when any pod inside this particular replica goes down, the only that particular pod should be up. So that is the reason we add selector. The only difference between a replication controller and replica set is this one. And you know why do we need to have it?
So Prasad, in app we can provide an array also, right? Maybe for different applications here.
No, only one, right? So I already said like one application only, right?
Yeah, in case suppose in my node I have 6 pods, 3 belongs to the front end and 3 belongs to the back end. In that case, how do we mention here? Like for example, if database goes down.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For that, you need to have a different replica set YML file. It is not the same.
Okay.
So you'll have other replicas for that particular part. You'll have other replicas. So you are not clubbing it. That's why I'm saying one container, one part only.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So
Got it.
replica
Got
set
it.
for one application will be different. For other application, it would be a different replica set. Okay. Fine. So this is how we actually create a replica set. Okay. So it's like the same API version kind metadata will be the same. The specification will be the same, but under template, we just add the part definition files and we have an extra key value pair, which is replicas. So you can mention 3, 4, 5, whatever you need it. So based on your capacity, I mean, the user base and your server capacity, you can have it, and the selector we should have it to match the label of this particular one, so that one part goes down, the related part only will be up. Okay, so for that particular reason we use replica set. Fine. So let's
So,
try to, yeah,
one question.
yeah.
Sir, suppose there are two applications, all right. There is one Node app and Node app one application, all right. So when we create a replica set, in the same YML file, we'll be defining both the applications, or for each application, we'll define a separate replica set.
Replica set only the related, see this is part, right? Only that name you should keep it here. Don't that is what I'm trying to say. If it is a different
Yeah, there
application,
are two, right? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there is
Two replica sets will be there for
exactly,
different applications.
yes.
Okay, so that is what I'm getting confused. Then why again if there are two separate replica sets for both the applications or both
Mhm.
the pods, then why? What is the use of the selector node?
Okay. Let's say if this selector doesn't exist, you are just saying replicas. What kind of replicas? Currently, it is creating replicas 3 using that node because everything exists in the same file. So later on, Kubernetes doesn't uses this file YML structure. Why do we need YML? It is just to initiate the action. You are saying this is the configuration I needed. Later on, it will be running inside the Kubernetes, right? Later on, it doesn't verify your YML file. It just verifies the parts which are running. So there are 6 parts running. One part got down. It should create one more part. If you are not nowhere what type of part is, then which part it should be. There is no way it can find out which part got down, right? Which type of part got down. Are you getting the point?
Okay, sir. Yeah. Okay. So it's just specification to inform what pod got down. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. Now what do we do? We will try to create one more this one. I mean replica set related YML file. And I'll keep this definition here. So as usual, we'll be using kubectl create -f dataset.yml.
I think we need to delete the existing one, or it's already running one.
I've deleted, right? No part.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
kubectl create -f so replica set.yml. So kubectl. So immediately if I say like kubectl get parts, you can see if you do it very immediately, like it will be saying like it is one of one, right, currently, right, but it will be saying like starting or something instead of running. Okay, so I did not do it very immediately, like you can observe the difference also, meaning initially it will not be running, it stays starting or something. Okay, the status will be fine. So if something goes wrong inside your part, there can be a restart. Automatically part restarts by itself. Okay, there you can see the restart. So based on that, you will also understand there is something wrong with the part. Okay, so based on this particular one, you can understand. Fine. So anyway, so node app, and I think someone was asking whether it contains the same name. No, it is not the same name, right? So if you can verify, so this is the different name, correct, right? So it is using a different for that
Correct.
particular part. Yeah. So now I am saying kubectl get all. Now you could see these are all parts. This is a replica set, you have it. Okay. So this is a replica set. You have it like 3 desired, 3 current, and 3 are ready. Okay. And you have 3 parts as of now. Okay. And you can definitely verify by using -o wide. So now there are 3 different IP addresses. Okay, so and node will be the same anyway. So the reason is we are using Minikube, and we are actually trying to run on the same node. So that's the reason you will see a different nodes. Sorry, same node. Okay, but the IP addresses differs. So anyway, you can run this HTTP and 172.17.0.5. Okay, so any IP address you can use it and you can make it work. Okay, so that's how it is. So I am just saying delete now. So kubectl delete. I think hyphen. I can do hyphen all, but for some reason it's not happening. Okay, so I just mentioned that. Now name of the replica set. So there is nothing now. So if we delete the replica set, even the parts also got deleted. Okay, so from now onwards, you don't create a part, right? So it is like with the replica set, so you will be creating the parts and you will be mentioning how many parts you need. Okay, so later on, even replica set also directly you don't create it. It will be like a deployment file and the service file. Okay, so only those two will be there. Okay, so we need to understand the service properly. Okay, so the next topic would be the service and deployment file. Okay, so tomorrow we'll go through the services, very important topic, so we should understand that. Okay, so then we also learn the deployment stuff. Okay, so that's how it is. So let me share this one to you, so which is replica set related one. Fine, so this is my replica set. So I've already shared the instructions here. You could go through the commands. So I don't need to share that to you. But this definition file I'm just sharing with you. Okay, so you can open the PPT and get the commands. This is okay. So I shared it. Okay, so now what you should be doing is just go through the YML file and execute it. Okay, so then
Sir,
tomorrow, yeah,
I think you haven't shared it in our the 2 p.m. batch. Just have it.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
So
fine, yes,
tomorrow, what time class?
7, 7,
7.
yeah, okay. So
Okay.
yeah, sure. So please go through this and execute it, and tomorrow we'll learn again. See, Kubernetes is important, so we'll be learning services. Let's see whether we can cover deployment also tomorrow or not. Okay, so we'll cover those two. So if those two covers, then it's like our own YML file, how to, sorry, our own image, how to use it by using registry and all. We'll learn it, and after that, we'll try to learn the EKS related stuff. Okay, fine. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir.